All right, hello and welcome back to Maplewood Homestead. I'm Nancy.
And I'm David.
And this is, I don't know what number live stream we've had so far.
Not many, but we're still early on, and that's okay.
Hello and welcome back to Maplewood Homestead. We don't need to hear me.
Okay.
So welcome back. This is maybe the third or fourth live stream we've done.
I think so.
Yeah. And we decided to take a little break, regroup, and do something a little different. So we're going to start having them on Thursday nights because according to YouTube, more of you are available on Thursday nights, and we thought it would be easier. It was the one night that David was available compared to when you all were available. So here we are.
Yes.
Hopefully it will allow more of our community to come and be a part of these times. And since this is the first time on a Thursday night, welcome.
If you're looking for good entertainment, I mean, this is the place to go to. Let's just be honest. I know we appreciate you checking out our site. You could be watching anything right now, but you've decided to check out our site. So we're grateful that you're here. We are super excited. And if Thursday night works, then Thursday night works.
Right.
If Saturday evening works, then Saturday evening works. This is the best time because I am on standby again this weekend. So
yeah,
Thursday's going to work good. I will talk about anything we want here. There we go.
Okay, something else I wanted to announce, and this is a pretty big thing. It was actually a lot of fun to do too.
What's that?
That Kevin and Lisa from the 2 Acre Homestead,
That's right.
They have a podcast, and they will interview different homesteaders, and we were interviewed by them, and it's going to air May 3rd. They do have a YouTube channel where they play their podcasts on that. And they do have a few videos, but their podcasts are really excellent. I would definitely check it out. Their videos are too, but I would definitely go check it out. May 3rd, Maplewood Homestead with 2 Acre Homestead. And when you go over and you do listen to them, you will realize a lot of the time they will talk about, with whoever they interview, their why. They asked us about our why. Why did you start homesteading? And that has really had me thinking. I mean, I know what our why was, but it had me really mulling over, why is why so important? Why would anybody want to care about why we do this? And so that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. Why is the why of homesteading actually important? So
I think I'll interject here real quick too as we get started. Your why can change as time goes on. I mean, you may start doing this, going down this journey for one reason or another, but it might change.
Right.
And I think that's okay, honestly. If it doesn't have to be necessarily rigid, like, okay, this is why we're doing it, and there's no other wiggle room there.
There's a starting point for it, and that's where we're going to start.
Yeah.
But what I would like for you, as our listeners, we are really interested in what is your why. Now, maybe you're not homesteading yet. Maybe you're not all the way in. Maybe you're just in the learning stage. But I know maybe you're practicing as you wait. Because that's what we did. We practiced canning. I would find tomatoes on sale and can salsa. And we got a dehydrator, and I would practice dehydrating. And maybe that's where you are. You're practicing skills. Maybe you have a little garden or even containers on your patio. Maybe you have chickens in a garden. Or maybe you're full on like us and you have goats and pigs and everything else. I'm really interested to know, why did you start? So that's the first why. Why did you start? And maybe for those that are new to our channel, maybe we can talk a little bit, because I don't think on any of our videos outside of the podcast have we ever discussed the why. Why did we start?
But we haven't dedicated any type of YouTube video or anything like that to maybe discussing the why. And why is that? Well, some people, it doesn't really matter, but I think deep down, everybody that chooses this lifestyle, they have a reason why they chose or have chosen this lifestyle. And I think the story is interesting anyways. And we do like to hear other people's stories as to, why did you decide to start farming? Has it always been in your family? Like, is this a generational thing, and maybe you moved away from it and then you came back to it later in life, and you go, well, wow, you really missed this, and here's why you missed this and why you started maybe doing it again.
Or maybe I know after we started doing this, we actually started pursuing this lifestyle well before, gosh, we were consuming YouTube content with lots of homesteading creators from what, like 2014, 2015? Easily.
Well, easily, or even
for the
maybe,
last 10 years.
and maybe even before that, yeah.
So we
easily.
started consuming it with the dreams and the hopes, and probably in the same position some of you might be in right now, thinking about it and wanting to. And it was because of the way our daughter had some health issues. And instead of going to medication, I started exploring some dietary changes. And honestly, between that and that was around the time whenever the Greek dollar collapsed. It was around that time we started having a lot of conversations about how fragile our monetary system, not just in Greece or in the United States, just overall, how we put so much value in that and how fragile it could really be. So I know that started us on the journey between health issues and wanted to be self-sufficient to some extent, because in my heart of hearts, no one can be completely self-sufficient. None of us were made to be self-sufficient. We were made to be a part of a bigger community. God created us as a community,
Right.
Families, churches, they're all communities. So going back to the why, for us, the first why again was health and food security. And learning a lot of these old-timey skills spoke to my heart. I don't know about you, but I don't know what it is about the old-timey stuff, just speaks to me. And it
is as corny as it may sound, there seems to be a little bit of a calling there. And maybe it does, a little bit of a calling back to those old-timey skill sets that you were mentioning, Nancy, about that. There's a satisfaction there. There's I don't know. There's something rich about being able to work outside with your hands, to be around animals, to enjoy the ups and
let's go back to why we started.
Well, this is why we started. For the ups.
For the ups.
What do you mean?
I don't think we realized that we're going to have a little farm, and it's going to be like we're going to have like so much fun wrestling goats.
Well, when you're just getting started, nobody thinks that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's like the why when we started. Now, I will agree with you. Now that we've been out here and we've been doing it, that's definitely been added to the whys. Like there's a definite.
That's the fluidity part of it, is where the why can change.
Yes.
Over time.
Yep. I do agree too, is that over time we started it to fill a need on a very superficial level, meaning for health reasons and to be self-sustaining. And I feel like where you're going, where you want to take the conversation, and we'll go there now, this is fine, is it speaks to another part of us. We didn't realize that it would speak to another part of our hearts and our souls to actually raise the animals and raise our food and be outside. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah. Someone's visiting with us. Hello. Say hello. If you're here in the chat, go ahead and say hello. But it does. Going back to what we're saying. Sorry. We digress.
Well,
pull it back in.
All right. We'll try to pull it back in. You had mentioned something about the Greek dollar, and I'm thinking, we live here in the United States. Who cares about the Greek dollar, right?
Watching things, yeah.
Well, no. It's also our age, where 20 plus years ago, do you think we could care less if the Greek dollar was going to do anything? I mean, we didn't even necessarily care that much about really just global politics or local politics in one sense. I mean, we knew when we needed to vote here and there because it came up, but I mean, it's different now, and I want to respect that part. I want to acknowledge that part, that it's different. But there was a sense once we decided that we were going to go ahead and say, take that leap of faith, if you will, and commit to this lifestyle that we thought that we could provide some stability for our families outside of everything else that was going on in the world, that we could teach skill sets to our kids, and maybe they learn it, move away, great, maybe they'll come back to it. That almost sounds biblical in one sense. But also that we could start providing for our families that way, that grow your own food. You guys have heard the stories. You guys know what I'm about to say. Grow your own food, put up, can, whatever term you want to use there. We have it. You come home, you see that in the storage facility that you have, whether it's some closet there in the kitchen or something like that, or just some shelves or something, right? And you go, hey, look at that.
Go shopping in your own house.
Yeah, go shopping in your own house, in your own greenhouse, if you want to do that. But that stability makes me feel good as a husband and as a provider and a protector, that those things we can do with what we've got, the knowledge, the physicality. We can do that as much as possible.
Right. Yes. And maybe that's where you're at. Maybe you're looking for food security. Now, we're not tinfoil theorists, whatever. This is well before COVID.
Theorists or conspirators?
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
conspirators. Theorists.
All right, well, yes.
Theories. This getting older thing, I was talking to one of my besties, and we were talking about this getting older thing. And have any of you ever struggled with, there's the word. Her word was the other day, she couldn't find the word potato. I will not mention who it is, but she was like, go get those things you make French fries with, those things. You know what I'm talking about? Over 50, this happened. Be warned, those of you that are under 50, you don't want it to happen, but it does. Anyway, get back to what we were saying. Working hard and finding fulfillment came definitely as a byproduct of this lifestyle. So that was definitely another why. That feeling of fulfillment just adds to our original feelings of want to self-sustain and provide for our family. And we had to learn the skill sets too. We fumbled through a few things, but I was grateful to start practicing before we even got here. So knowing all that, saying all that about our whys, and looking forward to seeing, we look at our phones because we're trying to see if there's comments, looking forward to your whys and talking about your whys. I'm super interested in getting to know you better and the reason why you want to learn more. Maybe you just come to these channels just because it does speak to you. It's something you would want to do but couldn't see yourself doing, so you live vicariously through channels like ours and other channels. We did that for the longest time. I think that's awesome because you're still learning. So, but why is the why so important to know? Why is it important to be in touch with your why and and give value to that why? What do you think? Why do you think it's important to know your why? I know you haven't read this part. You may not even know.
I have read this part. I'm looking at the script. We have a script. I'm not used to having a script. Sorry, I'm getting loud here. I'm not used to having a script, so you're going to see me look down and go, When we said entertainment, we weren't joking. Yes, that's my way to cover. All right, so here we go. Ready? Why is it so important to know your why? And then she's asked me, see, we need to script this out just a little bit better.
The reason why.
Nancy David.
The reason why we did it this way is I didn't want to waste your time and ours. I wanted to be more directed in our conversations. I love talking to our community.
Yes.
I definitely want to have some kind of structure though when we get together. So that's why. The why.
Well, that's the why for tonight. Okay, got it. That's the why for. No, I don't have a problem with the script.
Okay, all right.
I got to look down and read it and the bifocals. Okay.
So the reason why is so important is, let's think about the last 6 weeks. Okay. It's been a little crazy. If you've been watching our videos,
that's true.
The last 6 weeks have been very, very trying. And it has not been the first time that it has really tried, at least my patience.
Right.
I don't know if I cannot speak for you, but I know for me, there have been times I just wanted to cry in the milk room.
Hey, you probably did. I mean, I was crying because of the lack of sleep. I mean, that's the other thing, that the physicality that's involved with this. People need to factor that into their why. I'm thinking, right? Sleep deprivation is a real thing.
Why did you have sleep deprivation?
Well, because you had to get up in the middle of the night to check the goats, and it wakes me up, and then you're up. I mean, your mind starts going and thinking about things. And did I shut the gate? Did I close the goats in the barn so the dogs could eat, and the goats won't eat the dog food and turn into ravenous wolves or something? It just
no, it's mad cow disease. They'll get mad cow disease from
and
eating
you're
the
going,
dog food.
wait a minute, goats eat anything, right? But no, they're not supposed to eat anything.
Yeah. Okay, so
but
why?
Well, here's what I was thinking about when I read the script, because your why could actually be wrong, because your why is your guide for doing this. It's what gets you up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's what makes you persevere throughout the day. It's what helps you, put your head down on the pillow at night and rest because you did a good day's work and you're tired.
When it's -4 degrees,
right,
wind chill factor outside, the why is important.
It is. And if you're married and have a family, the family needs to know the why as well. I mean, they've got to be on board. I don't want to just do it for the two of us and not have the kids involved or understand that to some level, right? And they're supportive of that. Makes it much easier. The why becomes much easier.
It's true. And sometimes the kids just have to do it because they're part of the family. Right, Matthew?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to give a big shout out.
Big shout out
to our producer over here.
You can wave, Matthew.
They can't see you.
I know they can't see you, but you can still wave. Thank you.
Today is his birthday, his 15th birthday.
That's right.
And he helps us so much with this. So the why is important. I will tell you that with the goats, with Maple losing one of her triplets, with Sassy bordering on gangrene mastitis, and me having to go down every hour and a half for like 13, 14, 15 hours a day.
And then the bottle feeding, right?
Well, the bottle feeding was actually kind of fun. That part's fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some enjoyment there, but still, you have to.
It's multiple times a day.
Multiple times into the night.
You got to stop what you're doing and go down and feed them. And at night, it wasn't so bad. But and then even with Finley miscarrying, I thought I was going to have, and was a little overwhelmed and trying to make plans for having 4 goats in milk. I've only ever had 2 in milk at a time, and we try really hard to keep what we need as far as livestock goes, so we don't overextend ourselves in the budget area. So we try to be very wise in the area of, okay, we only need this many in order to accomplish this purpose, and we don't overspend. We don't need pet livestock, and it's fine if you want to do that, but for our budget purposes, we try not to do that. Now, that being said, and a little bit of digression from the whole why conversation, David and I have decided that as the kids are now getting older, our youngest is 15, what we want to do for fun is go to goat shows. So you kind of need more than 2 goats to go to a goat show. I mean, you could do it with 2 goats, but it's much more fun with more than 2 goats. So they're a little bit of a hobby as well as they provide food for us. So there is that. But it's been a rough, my whole point, going back to the main thing, the why was so important when I wanted to just melt into a ball on the milking room floor. Like, it does get to that place.
Yeah, if you don't have a good enough why, when that time comes to throw up your hands because you want to throw in the towel and quit, the why keeps you there.
It does.
It does. It really, really does. And so I think any career field that you might choose, any direction in life that you want to choose, know your why. Make it solid. Otherwise, you're not going to be satisfied.
I think you're right. And like, it's any lifestyle, but it's especially hard because in homesteading or farming or whatever you want to call this lifestyle, you have your regular life with the kids and work. And I also do work part-time. So between work and keeping the house going and homeschooling the kids, making sure they're on track, and David working, we have regular normal life. And then you throw a whole different layer with the animals and keeping everything out there running. And when the hard times come, your why has to be solid enough to help you endure through that, both time and money-wise. having some kind of money set aside so you can take care of the emergencies is actually something you should think about. Just put that out as an extra side thing. As you're planning for your homestead, make sure as you bring livestock on that you account for the fact that not necessarily vet bills, because we do a lot of our own animal doctoring, so to speak, but what you need to doctor them with, because sometimes that doesn't come cheaply. For instance, like ivermectin's, I don't know, like $25, $30 for a little bottle, the smallest bottle, that kind of thing. So let me just look at my notes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll fill in any dead airspace now. There we go. Yes.
Okay, so there, the other thing is, this is also important to know the why, because you can get hung up on, how do I say this? You make a choice about something and you're just dogged determined you're going to make this animal work, this livestock work, because you've committed to it, right? Oh, I bought all these whatevers and we're going to keep them because, and guess what? Not every livestock is built for every homestead or every person. We were talking with, part of what we talked about with Kevin and Lisa from the 2 Acre Homestead was, as we age and the children move on, what can we handle on our farm? What livestock can we handle? I certainly don't want to wrestle an 800-pound pig. Like, to keep a full-size boar for breeding purposes, a commercial full-size boar, I'm not going to do that. No.
No, and that's what I want you to point out for our listeners to understand, and those that are subscribing to our channel. What can we do physically as we get older? It's a fact of life. You know, you're going to lose strength. You're going to lose energy. You're going to lose perhaps some agility. You know, being able to move a little bit and bend and twist without throwing out your back for no reason, like picking up, you know, I don't know, some trash or something. But what can you do physically on the farm with the property that you have? And that was a good conversation. We were talking about it prior to that podcast as well. We continue to think about it. What really can work for us? For example, I still think cows, right? But the thing is, I don't know. We wrestle a cow.
Cows are pretty big.
They're big, but again, it's something. Our why is going to help us determine, and not allow us to just buy everything under the sun
because it looks cool.
Because it looks cool, or if it's trendy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing. The trending stuff that we see all over. I was going to say Facebook, but just social media about what's going on with farms and homesteading.
Yeah.
We don't want to. Our why has nothing to do with what's trends and stuff. We want to find things that are solid, they've worked, they've been proven throughout history, and then we still want to learn and grow and make sure that we're mastering those skill sets for those types of things that are proven, not just simply trendy things. Maybe once in a while we'll try a new breed of chicken, like we have right now. That we have the BF Elders, right? BF Elders, and that's a new breed. But you understand what I'm saying? There is the why anchors us, so that we don't just necessarily get lost in the shuffle of everything, and then we get swamped and overwhelmed, and then we can't do anything.
I think this is a good time to talk about the American guinea hogs. I know we did touch on this in our last video. If you haven't seen it, it's the 2 before this one. There's, because I've published
a couple videos ago.
Yeah, a couple videos ago about the American guinea hogs. And I had read about them and had a friend that had them, and I was like, you know, it'd be great to try. And the really good part is this friend had raised them most of the way, and we only had to raise them a few more months. We had wanted to get pigs that we could pasture, like we do the goats. Had heard about how they eat grass. We want to do things that are budget friendly for us and sustainable. We can reproduce them. For instance, the rabbits. I've done a video on the cost to feed a rabbit. It's $1.75 a pound to raise the rabbits. I can knock that cost down more during the warm months by learning how to feed them vegetation, which is going to be a real focus of mine this year. Knocks the cost down even more. Wanted to do the same thing with pigs. We're big meat eaters. We have been I want to say super strict carnivores, but mostly like 90% of the time carnivore slash keto. So ketovore. For the keto for the last 5 years, almost 6.
Yeah, almost 6 years now.
And the last over two, I have gone carnivore, mostly carnivore, and David this last year and a year and a half has done the same. So we are very heavy meat based. Therefore, we need to raise a lot of meat, pigs being one of them. Thought we could pasture them, and what we found out is that they take way more pasture than we thought. They burn through pasture way faster than we thought. Most of our property is not flat. Most of our property is on a hill. And what is flat, we're using for gardens. And our barnyard
Right.
has a very flat area.
Right.
So we were going to put them on the side of a hill. And if you've seen the video, it did tear up to the point that it caused a mudslide. So we were going to keep a breeder, and we're going to keep a sow and a boar and breed them out. And we thought, well, geez, we'd have to move them like all the time.
Right. We'd have to come up with some other infrastructure solution that
Yeah.
we just probably can't afford.
And they're the perfect size. They're the
Oh
perfect
yeah,
size.
yeah. I like the size. I really do like the size.
Because we want to process out ourselves. I don't like
Right.
the idea of shipping our meat somewhere else.
If we don't
can-
have to.
If we
anyways.
don't have,
Right,
if we don't have to, that's. I don't like giving my money away to somebody else to do something that I can do. And
Yeah.
and you did
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
you
Oh yeah.
we processed the pig together. It worked. It tastes delicious. Nothing against that. But if you're going to keep the American guinea hog, doesn't finish out to 18 months. That's 18 months of rotation on sloped land. Now, could it be done? We've heard
that it
could.
could be done. Maybe if someone has more acres that they can fence off better and give them more area to roam than
Well,
just the side of the hill at the same time.
I think if we really
We'd have to.
knuckle down,
yeah.
we could come up with an infrastructure plan. The thing is, I did not want, and David did not want,
Yeah.
the entire property taken over by just pig farming.
Right.
And then if you have a bunch of pigs that you can't get rid of right away, like you can't sell them off, now we're stuck with 8, 10 pigs and having to pasture them.
And we already know our land can't sustain because
No.
we had 5 total.
Yeah.
Now we're down to 2 pigs, and in this new pasture area where I put them,
Mhm.
I'm kind of keeping track. That's why I love going down there to feed them and hang out with them.
Mhm.
And I'm walking it on the inside and on the outside of the pasture. I'm trying to say, okay, how fast are these 2 pigs
Mhm.
going to, root up and eat and whatever, trample down this new pasture area? So it should be interesting because this pasture where they're on now is much thicker in grass.
Mhm.
It's a different vegetation in there than
Yep.
where they were before.
Yep.
The dirt is thicker, and then I did create a little bit of into the tree line, knowing that we would have them through the summer. I wanted to make sure they had some extra shade.
Yep.
They're already tearing that up, Eric, because all they do is push the leaves away, and it's straight dirt. So they're already starting to get into that
gross.
area, and
Yeah.
I'm going, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did when we had them on the side of the hill. It's the same type of land there. No wonder they took to the dirt as fast as they could over there.
And they'll tear down those trees. We don't care. Those are just like,
no.
yeah.
No.
Oh, so talking about
Well, and before you jump to the next,
yeah.
before you jump to the next subject, I do want to put a plug in for those of you that have American guinea hogs or thinking about American guinea hogs. Granted, Nancy and I don't have any other way to measure or compare the taste of the American guinea hog meat to something else that we've raised because we haven't raised another breed of pig yet.
right.
A lot of you probably have out there. So I guess the only thing we can compare it to is what we've purchased from the store and bought store-based commercial pig, whatever breed that is. I think the taste of the American guinea hog is excellent.
Yes.
The marbling on the fat within the meat.
Oh yeah.
And then the
definitely.
taste of it
Yes.
is absolutely amazing. Those other channels that I saw, in preparation of processing the American guinea hog, the ones that said, hey, yeah, the marbling's good, the meat tastes good, they're right. I mean, raise them on pasture. It's absolutely amazing. It was wonderful as far as that goes.
Hello, Bella's Whisper Farmstead.
Welcome.
So you're looking to get Yorkshires,
Ah.
and how long do you want to grow them out? Because I know we have the ability to get pink pigs, and don't get me wrong, I really like the American guinea hogs. I really, really like their size. I like the meat, the way they taste. We've had Gentle. I used to give scratches to one of them. We had Gentle, and they don't get huge.
Their temperament's been pretty good.
Yes, I really, really am super thankful to the friend who sold us them, because she did not steer me wrong at all. Just for us, too long to keep them out on pen. So we're gonna get tell me your name, or just the first name. Bella's Whisper. Is it Bella? Can we call you Bella? We'll call you Bella.
Bella. Hi, Bella.
That's what we're looking at now. If we're going to keep a pig in a pen, let's get one of the commercial pigs and not let them grow out to full size, to around the size that we can handle. Probably about 200, 250 that was a good size pig.
And I want to clarify too, when you say pen, I don't foresee that we're going to keep any pig, even for 8 months, necessarily in a pen. We're going to put them on a paddock. We're going to give them grass. We're still going to give them trees. We're still going to give them the ability to forage. We're not just going to hem them in. And I hope people understood that when you said it, but I just wanted to make sure that
but they're going to be.
We're going to section. Well, I think maybe the idea here is we're going to section off something, and it's going to be dedicated to raising pigs. Hopefully, year after year, or at least season after season.
But you mean bigger than that little pen we had them in?
Yeah.
If you've seen that video, we've had them, and it worked really well, except for that it was on a slope.
I think the only reason I'm going to do a small pen like that again, and I probably have mentioned this before, is that just to train pigs to a hot wire.
That is invaluable.
That's huge, to be able to train them to a hot wire.
So Kristen said they're going to grow them out 9-10 months. So what size? I think that at that rate, they're probably 300 to 400 pounds if you grow them out that long. I think that's the Yorkshire. She's talking about Yorkshire.
check. Hold on, check.
You got to downgrade to the worst audio, but
It was on.
Okay.
I turned mine back on.
Battery ran out.
That's probably what happened.
yeah.
Mine's still on though. Right?
Yours is?
Yeah.
Yours is blinking.
Yeah. No, I'm holding it right here so
Oh.
that they can hear us.
Is his working?
No, I changed it to the
To this?
yeah. So it's gonna be a downgrade in audio. Sorry about that.
Sorry about the downgrade in audio. These were not chargeable enough. So why don't we should probably wrap it up there. Okay, she said there's no sound. Is it coming through on that? Yes.
Remember, there's like a minute's delay.
Okay. Our apologies. We can still talk. It's probably not going to be the greatest quality. Kristen, can you hear us now?
Give it a second to let it catch up.
Okay. Well, I think we should probably wrap up. What do you think?
I was just getting started. That's the thing. I was just getting started, but
Okay, so do you want us to talk?
well, with no sound.
Well, with the inferior quality of sound, maybe we should wrap it for now.
Okay, can hear now. Okay, so
okay.
here's I just
You
saw.
gave him the thumbs up.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Thank you. All right, now buckle in for hour number 2.
No, we didn't.
See, I told y'all there's like a minute and a half delay.
Our producer over here is saying there's a minute and a half delay or so.
Kristen and anybody else who's watching
Right.
this, thank you for your patience with us as we learn to navigate the technologies,
Yes.
as our children like to call us boomers.
That's right. Well, something else that, as we were talking about our why and how it keeps us on the right path, we want to be on the straight and narrow path and not get too sidetracked by things, because there are some really interesting things you do on the farm or on a homestead, but we want to try to stay on that path as best we can. As soon as some of our church friends, for example, found out that we were raising pigs, all of a sudden they got interested in pigs too, meaning, hey, can you raise me a pig? Can you raise me a pig?
If they're watching, you're in trouble.
That's okay, because the thing is, I've told them, yes, but you're going to have to pay for that pig and come help us process.
Yes, that's
like we tell them that is, and we don't want to get, even with that, we still might get stuck with, an excess of pigs if we start breeding them ourselves.
I love that we can help other people
out. Oh, it's
out.
wonderful.
It's like, it's not, you don't want to put a burden on your own place.
Right.
Now, what animals do you have on your place? I'd be interested to know, comment below, what animals do you have in your place and why do you keep them? We have the goats for milk, cheese, and I want to make butter this year. We have the Muscovy ducks, are an amazing meat source.
Wonderful.
Again, the same person who introduced us to the American guinea hogs introduced us to the Muscovy ducks. They truly do have a beef taste with a turkey texture.
That's right.
That's the best I can describe it. And they grow out in 12 weeks. We have the rabbits. Rabbits and chicken are very similar, but not exact. Rabbits are quieter and cleaner. Yes, Matthew?
They're actually cheaper per pound than chicken.
And they're cheaper per pound than chicken. They actually are cheaper per pound than chicken.
Check out that video that Nancy made too about the cost of raising rabbits. That was a good one. They are cheaper.
And it's a 5-minute, less than a 5-minute video.
That's right.
We keep, and the poop from them we can use immediately into the
garden.
Yes, Kristen has chickens and ducks for meat and eggs and also a bull. And I'm gonna assume you're putting that in the processor, or are you doing it yourself? That's what I want to know.
She also put, they had a Jersey milk cow.
Had past tense.
Past tense. I don't know if it got too old but
I don't know if I can handle all that milk. That's a lot of milk.
Well, you give it to, if they don't drink it, you know as well as I do, even the excess of goat milk, we're going to give to the pigs, we're going to give to the chickens.
Dogs.
The dogs love it.
Yeah.
So, and it's very healthy for them.
Well, I know that there's one of our subscribers, Joe Miller. She had recommended the Aberdeen Angus as a meat/milk. but he actually does much better. His body handles the goat milk much better than the
cow
cow milk. And I'm wondering if they have something called, he doesn't know this part about A2 milk. There's certain, goats are naturally A2, so you might do okay with an A2 cow, but I'm going to guess they're probably pretty expensive. Is it?
A2?
Yeah.
What kind of numbering system is that? You have an A1, but you know what? You're not A1 quality, you're A2 quality. And so therefore, people like me can only drink from A2 quality.
Well, it's true, but goats are naturally A2 quality.
Whatever that means, this is new. That's off script, by the way.
I take care of him,
that.
and he just.
I do love the goat milk. As you get older, your
Goats
body's
are easy
can
to handle,
you can develop like a lactose intolerance of some sort, and mine isn't so over the top that I can't even, some people just look at a glass of milk and it messes up their system. But the goat milk is done wonderful. In fact, I've got to tell this story. I've been wanting to tell this story tonight on our podcast. What is this? Live stream. Yes, live stream.
You're a boomer.
Thanks. So we have been out of, our goats have been dry for how many months now? Because we're driving off at least 3, almost 4 months. Almost 4 months.
Around Thanksgiving we drive them off to do a lot of things.
Once the goats started kidding, and I knew there was going to be milk. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm salivating because I love ice cold goat milk. And Nancy teased me with a glass the other night.
Because they're not we're sharing with the babies.
Yeah, we're sharing with the babies right now, and oh man, it was so good. I loved it, and I'm like, I cannot wait. I'm hoping there's some in the refrigerator right now.
And Kristen said they send their bull off to be processed because that's a pretty thing to waste up on the tree.
Sure.
So
sure.
But I think this is an important conversation. Remember that May 3rd, 2 Acre Homestead, our interview with them, they interviewed us, will be out, and you can check them out on their channel. They actually publish their podcast on all the places that you can get podcasts, Apple, Google Play, but they also post their podcast on YouTube, so you can hear it through their channel, 2 Acre Homestead. They're out of Arizona. Really enjoyed speaking with them.
Wonderful interview.
Keeping in touch with them. Definitely people we would like to keep in contact with. So be looking for more videos. I'm going to attempt, I've definitely committed to 1 video a week. I'm going to attempt, because now's the season, to do 2 a week. Be patient with me. I'm trying some different styles. I'm trying to pull in David more. I love having him in on
and I love being here.
The videos.
I guess that other part that I didn't finish is.
I'm sorry.
No. Any husband, going back to that thing, like I do. I love working with you out there, and just like this past week, what a sense of accomplishment, and it just felt wonderful to work hard, and look at you in the eyes and smile and to think, this is it. This is great. Yes.
Dirty.
But every man who does this also knows that can be a double-edged sword at times, because if you don't get along, then you might be slinging mud at each other, and you don't want to do that at all.
But you can do it for real.
Yeah. So, I mean, it can be tough. It can be tough, because I'm the one who typically leaves the house and works full-time plus to be able to provide for the family so that we can do these things. And I know a lot of people do that.
I call him my sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Because he works hard to keep me in goats. Some girls it's diamonds, me it's goats.
Yeah, go figure. All right. But anyways, yes, but it's an easy choice for me. I'd rather be here doing this full time and helping out around the farm and really seeing what it can turn into as time goes on.
So we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you getting this far in the video. We appreciate you, Kristen, for coming in and tuning in live with us. We would like to do this twice a month and see where it goes from here. So until then, keep following us for more great stuff from Maplewood Homestead.